glad to have you join us on the news at 2 on Lagos Television. I am Aminat Elegushi. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria from further releasing monthly financial allocations to the Rivers State government. Justice Joyce Abdul Malik held that the receipt and disbursement of monthly allocations since January this year by the Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara was a breach of constitution and an aberration that must not be allowed to continue. Justice Abdul Malik held that the presentation of the 2024 budget by Fubara before a four-member Rivers House of Assembly was an affront to the constitutional provision, and the governor's action was a gross violation of the 1999 Constitution. The judge subsequently restrained the Central Bank of Nigeria, the Accountant General of the Federation, Zenith Bank, and Access Bank from further allowing Fubara to access money from the Consolidated Revenue and Federation account. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has assured the 19 northern governors that the proposed tax reform bill will be a win-win for all the tiers of government. In a post on X, Oyedele said his committee shared the sentiment expressed by the northern governors regarding the inequity inherent in the current model of derivation as a basis for distributing VAT revenue. Traditional rulers, stakeholders, and the Northern Governors Forum had rejected the tax reform bill that was forwarded to the National Assembly. The 19 governors said the proposed law was against the interest of North and other subnational, especially the proposed amendment to the distribution of value-added tax to a derivation-based model. Responding, Oyedele said the issue affects most states across all geopolitical zones due to the current derivation, which is mainly determined based on where VAT is remitted rather than where goods or services are supplied or consumed. And the federal government says the presidential initiative for sales of crude and refined petroleum products in Naira will help create more employment by promoting local investment. Chairman of the Presidential Initiative and Minister of Finance, Wale Edo, in company of the Chairman Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, stated this while briefing State House correspondent after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu. The minister said after a seamless takeoff of the laudable initiative, President Tinubu has expressed his desire to ensure that the well-being of the nation's economy where local investment thrive. On the direct impact of the sales of crude to local refiners in Naira, the minister said the cascading effect will be felt in the increased allocations to the subnational government as the NNPCL's balance sheet will improve tremendously.
With private sector refining of crude oil, we now have raw materials, not just for agriculture, but for industry, for chemicals, for paints, for building materials, for textiles. And of course, this is Mr. President's strategy and his policy of making conditions ripe for the private sector to invest, create jobs.
The petroleum product, despite the readiness of a local refinery to satisfy local consumption. Aliko Dangote said the challenge is with the retailers who have not been forthcoming but still choose to be importing.
We are now at about 420,000 barrels per day. We still have 1/3 to go. Once we get there, we have enough Naira crude, we'll be able to fully satisfy the market. But when NNPC refineries work going forward, then Nigeria will be actually one of the biggest exporter of petroleum products in history.
move that the federal government commence the sales of crude oil and other refined petroleum products in Naira on the 1st of October. This strategic initiative helps to increase the capacity of local refining that will in turn reduce dependence on imported fuels, saving billions of dollars that can be invested into other areas of the economy. And contrary to that, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria says its members cannot load petrol from the Dangote refinery in Lagos, despite having paid 40 billion naira to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. IPMAN President Abubakar Garima said these were reacting to a recent video by the owner of the 20 billion naira refinery Aliko Dangote, where he said marketers were boycotting his refinery to buy imported petrol. The IPMAN boss said his members are not importing petrol, as claimed by Dangote. He said rather than get Dangote petrol through NNPCL, the private refinery should register independent petrol marketers directly for smooth loading of the product. Garima said Nigerians would see a reduction in the pump price of petrol if Dangote refinery let independent marketers lift the product directly like the NNPCL. The IPMAN president also urged Dangote to check the price of its commodity if marketers importing petrol are boycotting its product.